You said you would never forget, but less than a generation later, you have forgotten. 24 years later, New York City just nominated Zohran Mamdani, one of the most radical anti-Americans there ever has for a mayor in a big city. This guy openly supports the Antifada. He is a sympathizer to Hamas, a known terrorist organization. And yet, the people say, let's vote for this guy, even though not knowing one thing. Matter of fact, after he got nominated, the search on Google for socialism skyrocketed because most people have no idea what it is. Now, the problem with people like this is that they promise the world to people. And of course, it sounds good, right? But when you have a government-controlled food grocery store, right? Think about the DMV, how that's run. It's a disaster. What do you think is going to happen when all the other stores in the area go out of business because they don't compete? Food shortages. That's right. You're going to be waiting in line for hours to get your food because the government mismanages everything. And yet you voted against your own interests because you've been lied to and you believe.
Bro, this is the thing that breaks my brain every single time. People Googling what is socialism. After voting for the guy who promised it, that's like ordering a mystery dish at a restaurant and then being shocked. It's not chicken. You had one job. Just know what you're voting for before you pull the lever. And the DMV comparison is actually perfect because, yeah, government-run anything tends to move at the speed of a tired sloth. Now imagine that energy controlling your food supply. Venezuela tried it. Didn't exactly work out great, but here's the real talk. MAGA bros love screaming about government overreach until their guy is the one overreaching. Then suddenly it's trust the plan. Wake up is right. But unfortunately, some people need to get personally wrecked before the lesson lands.
Believe the lies. Guys, together we stand, divided we fall. Wake up.
I gave birth to this perfect, precious little angel in September of last year. It is April, nearly May of the next year, and I am getting bills in the mail nearly every single week.
Oh no, if it isn't the consequences of your own actions.
Let's look at them. Okay, this one is a bill for $2,000. The service description literally just says vaginal birth. Here's another bill for $1,261. What's the description for? Actually, it doesn't even say. Here's another one for $336. The service description is subsequent hospital care. What does that mean? Here's another $675 charge for hospital discharge day. What service is it? You're just charging me for discharge day? It says on this bill that our insurance information wasn't provided, but our insurance was provided on every other bill.
Oh, wait. I know how you guys would respond if this was someone on the left saying this. You can't afford your hospital bills? I guess you should have just kept your legs shut.
I don't know. None of it makes sense.
Now, I could go on and on about how the exact policies she voted for caused the problems she's now facing. Because the One Big Beautiful Bill made cuts to Medicare and Medicaid, leading to higher healthcare costs for everyone. So hospitals and clinics closed, leading to an increase in demand and a decrease in supply, which means healthcare became more expensive and less accessible for normal people. But I don't want to talk about all of that. I want to point out the fact that you don't care about any of this shit until it affects you directly. You're fine with other people losing.
And there it is, the most honest thing said in this entire video so far. Riley is out here counting hospital bills like receipts after a bad date, shocked that the system she cheered for is now sending her invoices she can't read or pay. The One Big Beautiful Bill made cuts to Medicaid, and now she's getting charged for hospital discharge day? Like that's a line item at a luxury hotel. But here's what gets me. She's not alone in this. Millions of people voted for policies that sounded tough and decisive, and are now discovering that America First apparently means your medical bills come first too. MAGA bros were out here saying healthcare is a privilege, not a right, until the bill showed up at their door. Suddenly it's, this doesn't make sense. Bro, it makes perfect sense. This is exactly what was on the menu. You just didn't read past the cover.
Access to healthcare and having higher costs and living in maternal healthcare deserts. But now that it affects you, you're upset. Boo-hoo, Riley. This is what you wanted. America First, right? Oh, sorry. You wouldn't know anything about First. America tied for fifth? Have the day you voted for, Riley.
MAGA, you happy yet? Medicaid systems are down in all 50 states. This is what y'all voted for. What's crazy is at the same time Donald Trump tweets out this. Winning? Where are the wins? You froze federal funding and your biggest supporters are the ones that benefit the most from that federal funding. It's crazy that MAGA kept saying, oh, Project 2025 isn't real. They said we were fear-mongering. We were getting all of our news from CNN, but literally everything in Project 2025 is happening right now. And I knew Donald Trump was going to be a terrible president. I've been preaching it over the last 6-8 months. But even for myself, I didn't expect him to be this bad. I expected that we were going to feel the effects of his administration 6 months down the road, a year down the road, but we're only 8 days in, folks. Now more and more people are coming out saying they're regretting their vote for Donald Trump. No one is going to feel bad for you. We tried warning y'all. We told y'all exactly what was going to happen, and y'all didn't listen. So now all of your benefits are going to be taken away. The things that you rely on, and you only have yourself to blame.
Don't want to wake up to this email, bro. Will ruin your whole day. Forget that. It'll ruin your whole week, your whole month, bro. Potentially your next few years with insurance. You see, one of my followers got this email, yeah? And it states, we are writing to inform you that we have elected. What the fuck does that mean, bro? To void your policy with effect from its inception date of... Can't give you the date. FBI details, you. But what that means... Wait, before I explain what it means... You need to understand, bro, I've been saying this from a long time. People don't believe me. There's two types of cancellation. There's a cancellation and there's void. When they void the policy, it becomes non-existent. It's not a cancellation as such, but it's a cancellation, my guy. You're not going to be insured. And it's not from that day. It goes back to the day you got the policy. And you know why they did this? Because he sent them a dodgy no-claim bonus, my guy. He was like, Professor, what do I do? I was like, bro, I can explain it to you. And I told him, it's confusing, but here you go. You see, he's a long-time follower, so I thought, let me help him out. And when I say long time, I mean 2 years plus. You lot can pay for the poll. Anyways, he went and got the Professor Gets Away guide. He's followed the steps. Remember this, bro, because whatever happens is going to be in front of you lot as well. I've even bumbled him, but he's bought the guide. He's going to follow the steps. And he was worried about the refund. I was like, fuck the refund, bro. Go sort this out. Because you know what it is. You got to try and sort this out. And in case you can't, you got to get insured before the whole...
Okay, so she is actually dropping real practical knowledge here, even if the delivery is a little scattered. There's a massive difference between a policy cancellation and a void, and most people genuinely don't know that. Cancellation means it ends from today forward. Void means it's like it never existed. So all those months you thought you were covered, surprise, you weren't. And the no-claims bonus fraud is exactly the kind of thing that bites people in the back because they think they're being clever, saving a few quid. MAGA bros out here trusting insurance companies to have their best interests at heart, though. These are the same guys deregulating the industry that's now voiding your policy retroactively. The irony is loud, but real advice. Read your policy documents. Don't send fraudulent documents to insurers. And if you get a void letter, call a professional immediately. Don't just panic, act fast because the clock is ticking from day one.
Database updates. If you can beat them, you might be lucky. It will be high, but not as high as it can be. If you get it, you get. Link is in the bio. Bye-bye.
We are the richest country in the history of the world. I don't know why we let Republicans waste our time saying that we can't provide health care for everyone. There's enough for everything for everyone, as long as we don't let Republicans and the rich steal more than half of it off the top. I haven't slept through the night in months. I wake up terrified about a lot of things this regime is doing that hurt the people I love, including how my family can live with these Medicaid cuts. There are 600,000 other Iowans just like me who can't live without Medicaid. That's nearly 1 in 5 Iowans. I did 2 years of AmeriCorps National Service, and my father and grandparents served in the military in World War II to defend government of, by, and for the people, not a government of, by, and for the billionaires.
Trump has had to make some cuts, had to make some really tough decisions. I know Doge cut back on the Department of Education. Cut back.
Well done.
The EPA.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
There's some tough cuts. Cancer research.
Cut it. Let's go back to all natural.
We don't need to be researching on cancer. We basically have that fixed anyway. Alzheimer's research.
Why not?
Why not cut the Alzheimer's research?
Yeah.
What? We're just cool with that.
I'm cool with that.
Are you excited about all these Doge cuts?
Yes, I am, because the government is stealing too much of the money and they're wasting too much of my daggone tax dollars.
Oh my God, government wastes so much money.
Yes.
Oh my God, it's insane what we spend money on.
Just foolishness.
Well, enjoy the $45 million parade and all the tanks.
Yeah.
The library card bit just ended me, because this is satire that isn't even satire anymore. Why are my tax dollars going to support someone else reading is a real sentence that real humans have said out loud. And the fire department one, bro, the fire department. I'll just hire my own private fire team is the most MAGA energy I've ever heard condensed into one sentence. Meanwhile, the $45 million parade with tanks is apparently a great use of public money. Because flex, nothing says generous and kind like cutting foreign aid and throwing a military parade instead. But here's the thing. This is what happens when you teach people that government is always the enemy. They start rejecting the parts of government that literally keep them alive. Roads, hospitals, libraries, fire trucks, all funded by the taxes they hate. Someone needs to sit these folks down with a basic civics textbook, preferably from a library they haven't defunded yet.
Hey, that's a good use of your tax dollar, I think.
It's important for America to flex their muscles. So people know that America is generous, America is nice, America is polite, but America can really become badass.
Now, just brainstorming here. If we want to show the world that we're generous and nice, wouldn't it help to do like generous and nice things for the world?
We are already doing it. USAID, more generous and nice. We let people to take advantage of us for left and right.
We're showing them that we're kind by taking it away so they see how kind we are.
Absolutely.
So the idea is that we would have thousands of books that we would keep kind of in central locations all around towns and cities around the country, and everyone can go there for free and just check out books. We would give them this thing, I'm thinking of calling it a library card, and they could just go and get books. No. What do you mean no? I mean, why are my tax dollars having to go support someone else reading? If they want a book, why can't they just go buy it? But public access to books can only raise the education level of our country, and that would be a good thing, right? No, that's it. Next idea. Okay, so I had an idea that if we all just chip in a little bit, we could support a service that would come to your house if your house caught on fire. No. Wait, what? How could you disagree with this? It would have minimal cost, and if your house catches on fire, they could save your house. They could even save your life. But what if my house never catches on fire? Then I have contributed to this fund to help other people's houses? Absolutely not. No, I'm not letting my good money go because someone else can't keep their own house from catching on fire. I mean, in an ideal world, none of us would ever need that service, but we know that every year lots and lots of people do, so doesn't it make sense for us all to just chip in and fund something like this? I mean, why can't it be privately funded? Why can't I just hire my own private fire team to just come out and put my fires out if it should ever catch on fire? Why am I paying my hard-earned money for someone else? They probably aren't even taking care of their house, and that's why it's catching on fire. Why am I having to pay for that? Okay, so
Why can't I just hire my own private fire team? Has genuinely broken something inside me. This is the logical endpoint of the anti-tax, anti-government, anti-everything collective mindset, and the Rhodes one at the end just gets a flat no before she even finishes the sentence. But here's the wild part. The people who say this still call 911 when their house burns down. They still drive on public roads, still send their kids to public schools. They benefit from collective systems every single day, and somehow don't connect the dots. MAGA bros specifically love this line. I don't want my hard-earned money going to someone else. Bro, your hard-earned money also goes to the $45 million parade and the fighter jets flying over a golf course. The cognitive dissonance is Olympic level. You can't say you hate government spending and then cheer every time your guy spends more of it on stuff that looks cool on TV.
I have another idea for how we could get our roads and our bridges to be safer in our community if a little bit of our tax dollars would go towards fixing those up. No!
The hospital system in America is about to collapse, just so you guys understand. I talk about my dad on here sometimes. He's an ER doctor. He does traveling work, so contract work with different hospitals across the country in many, many different states. He's licensed. And in the last 4 months, 3 of the hospitals that he does contract work at have closed or downsized their staffing completely to the point where they basically can't see any patients. Yeah, it's bad out there. It's really bad. These hospitals got their funding cut in the big beautiful bill, and people don't really understand what that means. But what it means in real life for you is that your local hospital is suffering financially, and it's either going to close or it's going to downsize its staffing, which means you will very shortly here hardly ever be able to see a doctor. You will have to see a nurse practitioner or a PA. But for things that are more specialized, it will be very hard to see a doctor just simply because healthcare has become a business. And it's not about healthcare, it's about sick care, right? So it's happening. It's happening on the ground right now. I can tell you from my own family's experience. It's going to get really, really bad very quickly.
Take a listen to these women and tell me if you believe anything that they're saying.
Hi, everyone. So I'm with one of my really good friends. She voted for Trump. regret.
And you know what? Well, yes. But guess what? It's not time for us to do that. The time has come for us to figure this shit out.
No, we already had it figured out. You don't get a pass. You don't get to call for unity now. Calling for unity now is like offering Caitlyn Jenner a hand. You're a little too late.
People want to hear that you regret your vote.
As of right now, I'm very unhappy with where we are.
When someone's dad is an ER doctor watching hospitals close in real time across multiple states, that's not fear-mongering. That's a first-hand account from someone with skin in the game. 3 hospitals downsizing or closing in 4 months is not a blip. That's a collapse in slow motion. And the shift from doctors to nurse practitioners and PAs isn't inherently bad, but when it's forced by funding cuts rather than a thoughtful restructuring, people fall through the cracks. The people who voted for the Big Beautiful Bill thought it was about cutting waste. They didn't picture their rural emergency rooms shutting down at 2 a.m. when they're having chest pains. MAGA bros were out here screaming, "Keep the government out of healthcare." And now the government has done exactly that. Left healthcare to bleed out on the floor. This is the real-world consequence of policy. Not abstract budget numbers. It's your dad not being able to find a hospital to work at.
Economically.
There we are. You mean you're getting economically hit? Who the fuck would have guessed that?
But guess what? This needed to happen. We needed for him to win, rigged or not, for him to win and for all of us to come together. So what we are saying tonight, let's come together. Exactly. Let's come together. We're all Americans.
Stop the division.
No, this didn't need to happen. Stop the division? Where the fuck were you on January 6th? Where were you when there was good people on both sides? Stop the division. Where were you when he was degrading women? Where were you during these things, huh? Nope. Fuck around and find out. No unity here.
So if you haven't seen, the Trump administration is proposing large cuts to WIC, which is what helps certain low-income women and children, and this one kind of hits close to home, because growing up, we didn't have a whole lot, so we relied on WIC, food stamps, whatever else we could get. And as Dr. Jess pointed out,
the president wants to cut the program, including up to 75% of the fruit and vegetable benefit for at-risk families. That means going from $52 to $13 a month for breastfeeding women and from $26 to $10 for kids under 5. That's like 2 packs of berries.
are we great yet? Is this what greatness is? Taking away the already small amount of money poor people have to buy food? And you know what's so fucking maddening this entire time is you have people like RFK yelling, "Eat real food." Are dicks real food? Because I think he needs to eat a bag of those. Sometimes it feels like this administration studied the villain in every movie ever and is now trying to actively ace the test. I don't really know what to do besides call attention to this and help where I can. So I'm going to donate $500 to No Kid Hungry and really hope these cuts don't happen. Out of 10. Okay, bye.
You know, as a real MAGA American that I am proud that we are standing alongside Sudan.
The moment of confusion on his face when he realizes what he just read out loud is the entire MAGA experience compressed into 5 seconds. Wait, we're siding with North Korea. That doesn't sound right. Bro, read the room, and before that, the WIC cuts going from $52 to $13 a month for breastfeeding women. $13 a month for breastfeeding women? That's not even a Starbucks drink. RFK is out here yelling, "Eat real food," while the administration cuts the only program that helps poor families buy real food. That's not irony. That's cruelty with the press release. And the $500 donation is sweet, but the point stands. Individual charity cannot replace systemic support. MAGA bros love charity over government. Until they see what happens when charity is all that's left. North Korea, though, man, that's a banner you hang yourself and then look confused about. Classic.
North Korea, Russia, is this right? North Korea, but I thought, wait a minute.
Women are single-handedly ruining the healthcare field with how unprofessional and immature they are. Have y'all seen the video of that OBGYN clinic where all of the women were doing this, right? Taking a picture next to the, that chair that the woman sat on, right? And there's like a stain on it, right? Almost implying as if that's discharge, like they don't put like a shitload of gel, you know, and that thing that they go up in there with, and then making weird faces, almost making it seem like that's the discharge that came out of the women, and like it's like shameful. It's like a shaming thing, bro. And they were all there, man. They all thought it was a good idea. They took a group picture together. together, man. That different women took pictures with different level of stains. Some stains were bigger than others, and they were making funny faces and stuff like that. And it's like, bro, all across the healthcare field, bro, more and more offices are being popped up, bro, that are owned and operated by women, bro. And you're starting to see more of this childish, unprofessional behavior, bro, all across the board. The stories I have, bro, like, will blow your fucking mind. Like, a male OBGYN would never, ever in 1,000 years do something like that to his patient. You know how embarrassing that is, bro? For them to be making that type of claim, and then people wonder why it is that women prefer male OBGYNs. That would never, ever, 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 ever happen, bro, with a male doctor. That is insanely disrespectful to your patients. Crazy.
Suddenly I am sick.
Is it my turn or no?
Follow for more daily fun reels, man!
A lot of people have been talking about their interactions with Gen Z physicians and other healthcare professionals, and how those interactions have been markedly more positive than with like older doctors, older PAs, older NPs, whatever it is. People have noticed that Gen Z healthcare providers tend to talk to people like they're on the same level as them. And the reason why this is possible, in my opinion, is because we've got such diversity in the incoming group of healthcare providers. And because they come from all different walks of life, they're able to relate to patients better and serve them better. And with the big, beautiful bill that's coming through, it's going to cut off a lot of people who want to go into healthcare, into a variety of professions, because they won't be able to pay off student debt. That's already daunting enough. But I think that the people who are pushing for this bill to go through think that they're going to be okay. Because you've got to understand, a lot of these people who are pushing the bill are old. They need healthcare providers. And they probably assume that if they just keep it to be a rich person's sport, that a bunch of rich kids will become doctors, and they'll be able to adequately support them, serve them, treat them well. And here's the thing, I hope they do, because I wouldn't wish ill health upon anyone. That's just not in me, even though it's in them, clearly. But I personally think it would be a huge step back for everyone, including them, to cut off this many people from the healthcare field who are genuinely passionate about it, who aren't going in for it for the money or the prestige or anything, who are going in for it for the right reasons.